This is an incredible surprise. What? This white goat right here, Isla, she's pregnant. We went to go get them bred at the same time. Opal, the black one, Isla, the white one. Isla's took, Opal's didn't. Isla's due in about 8 days. 8 days, her projected due date. It could be tomorrow. For all I know. So we're monitoring it very closely. This is very exciting for us because it's our first mammal birth here on the farm. Incredible news this morning. I walked down here to check on the birds and I hear the noises. I'm so excited I can't even get the camera right. Hold on. Hi. Okay. Hi, I'm gonna help you out, okay? I'm gonna help you out also. Yes. I'm gonna dry this one off. Unfortunately, it's a really cold morning, and then this one hasn't gotten up and walked around yet, and it was laying around in its fluid, so I wanted to get it up and dry it off because it's pretty cold this morning, and it hasn't been this cold. The other one's doing fine. Here's I think this is the older one because she's already up, and she's been up and walking around for a little bit, and so I'm gonna dry them both off. I'm just gonna try to get them warm for a few minutes, and then I'll get back to you as soon as things are calmed down. Okay, I went up and got some breakfast real quick. I came back down so that they can get situated. Everybody was fine this morning, it looked like. They were really trying to eat. I'm pretty sure when I walked down here, I found the little girl right after she was born, and she just birthed the placenta. So this did happen Be quiet! I'm communicating. I caught this just after birth, so this is very exciting. Now it's time to introduce the dogs to the little goats. I have 2 Great Pyrenees and 1 Border Collie. The Great Pyrenees are incredible animals when it comes to livestock protection. Great Pyrenees tend to be extremely loving and kind to all of their animals that they accept and they know and they care about, but they're very protective against animals that they have no idea, people, animals, the like. So it's really important at this point that I introduce these dogs to the babies while they have that new birth smell so that they imprint on them. I'm so glad we made the decision to get Great Pyrenees because we do have occasionally coyotes roaming the lands, and with little baby goats crying and screaming and a bunch of chickens and guineas running around, it just brings animals looking for prey. Now the reason I brought them in this room in the first place was to get them warm, and the dogs barged in and wanted to meet the little goats. It was very cold this morning, low 30s, and it was a cold snap, so nobody was used to this at this moment. I had left the goats so that they can bond while I went up to eat breakfast. And when I had come back, I realized that little goat, the little girl who was laying in her fluids, was still there. She hadn't moved. She wasn't being tended to by her mother. She wasn't getting clean or warm. She was just laying there in her amniotic fluid. Because it was so cold, I decided to make the decision to get this little baby girl up, clean her off, and get them near some warmth for the time being. At this point, you could see her suckling at my arm. It's because she didn't get up and eat from her mom yet. It was at this point that I realized that the little baby goats were having trouble eating. Anytime she would lift up her leg, like she was supposed to, instead of keeping it up or out of the way, she would swat them away and walk away. It had been a few hours at this point, and I had the 2 baby goats separated with their mom, giving them every opportunity to both bond and have the opportunity to eat and explore what it's like to eat from their mom. Soon after the goats are born, they kind of jab at the mom's underside or her bag, searching for her teats. They give off a smell to them, and they're able to find the teat if they're given the opportunity to search. And I thought since the mom kept swatting her babies away, feeding her would give them an opportunity to find the teat and give her an opportunity to understand what it means for them to eat from her. But hours went by and nothing ever happened, so I had to intervene. I'd have to kind of hold her down, either when she was eating or when we were out in the field, trying to get those little babies to suckle from her. Because anytime they tried, she would swat them away and she would run away, and she really, really did not want them to touch her, period. In this position here, I was really helping those new goats find the teats because they never had the opportunity to even get close. And at this point, their mom's just getting more engorged and doesn't want them to be close to her even more. And this little girl was born 3 pounds less than her brother. So that was increasing my worry about her not being nourished enough. So I'd help her find the teat, help her suckle for a little bit, and then I'd let her go, hoping that their mom would let them keep eating, but it just never happened. As soon as I let go, she'd get annoyed, she'd start to feel uncomfortable, and then immediately leave them. It may not have been necessary, but I did put on rubber gloves just so that none of my smells got on the teat, so that there wasn't any added or extra confusion. I was really determined on getting this to work. Every 2 hours I was back at this. Every 2 hours I was helping them eat again, trying to make sure that she didn't get engorged and the babies would have food. And this went on for a very long time, and it went on late into the night. And again, as hard as I try, she would just leave them as soon as she got the chance. Here's my situation. Isla, the mom, she's a new-time mom. She's never done this before. Something she's been really struggling with is the more they kept trying to feed, it seemed like she was trying to let them, and she'd lift up her back leg, but every time they touched them, she'd kick them off and run away. And it was an all-day thing. I don't think they ate at all yesterday until I intervened. I don't know if her udders were too full or she was too sensitive. She's not rejecting them. She's not against them. She's still being very lovey and kind and open with them. She's smelling them, cleaning them, doing all the stuff that she needs to do. She just wasn't good at feeding them. Oh man, after a full day of being a lactation consultant for the goats and working them through it, I think that they're finally there. Oh, it's been a long road for them. Isla would get really uncomfortable and she wouldn't want to let the babies touch her in any way. So by putting the goats in a position to force them to eat and force her not to leave that area, it encouraged the bags to get emptied, which made less swelling, less discomfort, and it taught the babies how to be able to eat because the mom goat wasn't even letting them get to the position to try to eat because it was so uncomfortable for her. And they were just doing it. This has been a long road to get here, and it's really exciting. I got a big change of events that just happened. I came down here without my camera. I just needed some clothes that were in my barn. And I found something that I was not expecting. This is an incredible surprise. What? What? This just happened. I didn't know she was pregnant. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
She hasn't been big, so it's probably just one baby. What? This is so much of a surprise to me. I really only thought one was. We have these goats for our own milk supply of our own family. So this whole time I thought we'd only end up with 2 milk goats. I'll back up from them for a moment while they feed. I thought this black goat, Opal, would never be able to get pregnant because we took them to go get bred and she was gone for a month. One of the goats showed so many signs of pregnancy. The other goat showed none. This one, she showed no signs of pregnancy. My other goat had diarrhea when we first brought her back home. That's a sign. She was clearly getting extra large, and she created a bag, meaning that milk sack that they carry their milk in, she created an extra large milk sack. So that may have played a role in me not realizing that this one was pregnant. The bag that Opal created was only done like 2 to 3 days ago. A very, very small bag in comparison to the one that had twins. So I was thrown off in understanding the size differences or certain key elements in recognizing whether she was pregnant or not. This will give me time to wean our main milk goat and give her some time off, and then we'll get her pregnant again in time. That way we have enough milk for our whole family, because at this point one goat isn't enough. I don't even know where to take this video anymore. I'm just so excited. I'm going to end this video showing you just a few more shots of this little baby this next few days, and then we'll share more as we go along.